No fundamental tax changes are expected in the national budget. With us today, we have Deloitte Director Roelofse to expand on this. Welcome, Roux.
Thank you.
Why would you think that there would be no fundamental tax changes expected?
Well, we've seen so many changes over the past 3 to 4 years coming through at budget time that we're a bit exhausted, to be honest. We need to recoup. We need to look at what's been changed. I think the big issues have been addressed to a large degree, and it's time for us to consolidate what we've got and sort out all the technical corrections that are needed at this point.
So it's a matter of regrouping and saying, you know, this is what we're going to be doing, as opposed to new things all over the place.
That's right. I think it's the opportunity now is for us to internalize what's been said over the past 4 years or so, and to understand what we've got on the books and to start implementing what we have there.
Will Pravin Gordhan take the review of the Davis Commission into account, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that particularly in this budget, I don't expect many announcements around tax changes. The Davis Commission is currently busy with its mandate, with its work, and its reports will be published during the course of this year. And the Minister, I think, will want to hold back and see what the Davis Commission says and not preempt their findings before embarking on any fundamental changes.
So you think that the Davis Commission plays quite an important role in the upcoming budget?
Oh, absolutely. So we won't see, as I say, the Davis Commission hasn't as yet published any particular reports or made any particular findings, and therefore we're in a bit of a holding pattern at this point. And fortuitously, I think from the Minister's point of view, because he doesn't need to come through with very unpopular choices or policy changes. As you know, we've got the election coming up. You don't want to be upsetting too many people right now.
True. How does the fact that it is an election year, how does that affect the expected budget speech?
Well, I think the Minister will say it doesn't affect it. You know, it's business as usual, and he's not a politician, he's a technocrat. He needs to make sure that the fiscal policy of the country is sound. But the reality is it does affect it. The reality is that there's a process where the Minister also needs to know Cabinet and in what he's doing, and it needs to be agreed. So we won't see there are many contentious issues that can be addressed, for example, raising the VAT rate as an example, hiking individual tax rates to a large degree. And why would you want to do that right now before an election?
So you're saying we're not going to see much upsetting of the apple carts here?
I would be surprised if we do. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I would be surprised if we do.
So the election year, being an election year, does play a role, you'd say?
Oh, yes.
What would you say is the most pertinent issue facing Pravin Gordhan in this budget?
Simply that we need to grow the economy. We need to get companies back to be profitable. If you look over the past, since 2008, 2009, corporate profitability was good. Companies contributed a lot to the fiscal coffers. That's declined, and we now see VAT having overtaken corporate tax as a revenue earner. And if corporations don't grow, people don't come into employment, jobs aren't created, you have not only a reduction in corporate profits, but you also don't get the individuals coming in paying tax. And individuals contribute still by far the biggest, make the biggest contribution to the fiscal coffers.
So just give us a few tips. What would your tips be for Pravin?
My tips for Pravin will be that he needs to look at what we've got currently, our legislation. He needs to sort out a lot of the issues in the interpretation of that legislation. He needs to try and simplify it. We've got something that's workable. It's there, it's workable, but we need to put it in a language that is understood by taxpayers, but also by government on the part of SARS, so that we have a consistent application of the revenue laws.
Thank you so much, Roux, for coming in.
You're welcome.